Welcome back to part 2 of the corrugated fence build for Ed's Scrapyard, where we scrap your crap. In this part of the series, we're going to paint and weather the fence. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy. Welcome back to the Crooked River and Eastern Railroad. This is my part 2 of my corrugated fence build series. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1. In part 1 we built just a short single section of fence. So we're going to take this one and make it look like this one. Okay, so what I'm going to be using is I have a lot of these acrylics. I just picked several colors that I thought would look good for the fence. White, green, a red, a blue, and then a metallic silver. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these acrylics, these acrylic paints here. I get these are just Walmart's Apple Barrel brand. They're matte finish, 50 cents a bottle. So I'm just going to decide on what I want to beat up a little bit. I put a few dents here, some cuts, where things have, come through the fence from the scrapyard, things like that. So I'm just picking random colors where I want to put where. So let's take some white. I'll do a white panel there. About one there. That'll look good white. Maybe there. It's up to you if you want to do both sides painted or if you just want to do the one side. My scrapyard is called Ed's Scrap, where we scrap your crap. That is rather on the cheaper side of things. So when the township started getting on them, he decided it was time to do some painting. Try to make the fence look a little nicer. Painted up some of the rusty ones. And this has been several years back now. As you can tell, the fence is beginning to weather again really badly. So he has replaced a few sections here and there, but not many. Said he's into making money, not spending it. So there you have that. Some sections of white. You can see they're pretty transparent. And again, we just kind of decide what we want to do next. Work on some blue. Do some green. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue on with this. I'll be back when it's painted up. Stay tuned. I'm back. So this is all nice and dry now. I finished all my colors, as you can see. My next step is going to be a wash. I'm going to wash with rust. So all this is craft paint. Mix this up with water, make it nice and thin. Once that's done, I'm going to do a whole wash of this gray. Okay. So now you want to put this on very liberally. And I'm just going to get to the top. I'm just going to kind of wash and let it run down. This is just to give it a base coat of, just dirty it up a little bit, rust it up a little bit. You know, it's an old fence. Pulling over here a little bit. So I'm just trying to use the brush to kind of dab that off. So here we have the first coat. I'm let it dry a little bit. Just a little rusty look to it. So I'll let it dry a little bit more. We'll come back, see if it needs any more rust, and then from that we'll throw on just throw on a gray wash. And then let that dry, and then we'll come back with the oils. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So the rust color is all dried, rust wash. So I mixed up a little bit of this brown. Just put a little wash of that on here. I'm gonna give it somewhat of a dirty look to it. Not just rust, I wanted some dirt look to it. So the brown wash is dry. Looks pretty good. Give it just a little bit of dirtiness over the colors. I have this gray, murky gray kind of whatever wash. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that now. Okay, so this wash is all dried. Looks nice and dirty, dusty. Honestly, it could just stay like this and be halfway decent. So I'm going to make the bottom piece look a little bit more like this top piece with some of these rust spots. So we're going to do that with some oils. So areas we're going to want to try to get into, natural areas where rust would form. So we have like a cut here. I'm going to kind of put a little bit of rust in there. These two overlap. You might get a little bit of rust streaking down there because there's an overlap of panels. There's another cut over here. Even some of the dented areas, you may see some, like here, there's a couple dents. The paint is chipped off. So where the paint chips off, you know, it opens it up to the elements. You know, so we'll just add a couple little holes, just like you see on the sides of boxcars and hoppers and things like that, where you get the little rust spots. I got this pack here of oils. I got these at Michael's. Yeah, it was $5. It came with all these. They're all basic colors. I'm going to use a little bit of yellow ochre and burnt sienna and burnt umber. Those are the 3 colors I focus on today. Now, a little goes a long way. I'm going to take a little bit of the burnt sienna here. Mix in a little bit of the yellow ochre. It comes up with a nice little rusty color. So I take a nice fine tip brush. I'm going to use that to do a little rust spot. Take a little bit of thinner. I don't want it too thin. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a real nice shade of rust there, in my opinion. Okay guys, so I'm going to work on this panel right here. Just put a little bit of a line right in there. Drag that line very gently. So it gives a little bit of a streak. Now I want the hole to stay open, I just don't want to see through the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the dark. Okay, it's going to be the old rust. It's usually darker than light rust. And more on the inside of that is going to be that darker rust. And it'll streak down some too. It's kind of a matter of just playing with it. I'm going to mix a little of this yellow in. Sided, so we're going to flip it, and we're going to work on the back of the hole because you're going to get rust dripping down both sides of that cut. Okay, made a little more progress. So it's looking pretty good. I may do a few more panels. Got the back side here too. So yeah guys, it's really not too bad. It's just a trial and error thing. It's a light touch. But remember too, this is, you have to remember, you have a gouge here, okay? So it's going to run down some from this point, but gravity's going to have it travel down along that lip. That lip. It's going to follow that a little bit more, just in general. So while you still may have some running down, the majority of it's going to kind of travel down and spill over. So your newer rust streaks are going to be from like that corner down. At least that's the way I see it. That's what I've tried to capture there. And there's a little bit of rust in between these two panels here. I thought it looked kind of neat. A little bit at the top here. And it's just a light touch. Put a little dab in and you barely want to drag it. With it being oil, it stays wet a lot longer than an acrylic will. And especially on this corrugated material, you see you have the ridges in the corrugation, so if you have a rust spot anywhere near one of those ridges, it's going to follow a natural path down the seam of the ridge, or the valley of the ridge. It's not going to ride on the top of it, most likely, unless that pinpoint or the rust spot is on the top. And it'll sort of follow it, but it's still going to naturally want to go down into that valley. Just gravity in itself is going to make it go that way. So just kind of keep those types of things in mind when you're doing these. So, you know, what you see in nature, find a corrugated fence. Okay guys, I'm going to call that pretty much done. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave me your comments. I always like to hear your comments. Guys, if you're interested in any merchandise, check out the Crooked River and Eastern Railroad on Teespring. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Hope this was informative. That's it for now. Take care. Bye.